Welcome back, everybody. Today's the second day of fundamentals of Pythons. And last week we have covered the very introduction part. Let's see what we have learned last week. I think if we go here, we can see what we have covered, right? We just installed actually first Python by going to the official website. So that's easy for everybody. So we just installed Python like this. Yeah, it's straightforward. By clicking, you will have the downloaded, and then you click on the downloaded Python. Then you will install it. Then to check, we just check by writing cmd. We open the command prompt, as you can see, enter, and then you have it. Then Python version, we have checked it like this, and I should get some number over here now. As you can see, I am using Python 3.96, and then it's possible to run Python script on here by opening the Python interactive shell. You can open it like this by writing py or pt python, as you can see. Then whenever you see these three arrows, that means actually the place to write Python. So we started by writing hello world. That's the first stage to write, or the first step we do most of the time programming. So we used now with the print built-in function to print out this text. So now we heard a word, a jargon function. What's a function? Function usually has a name, as you can see. Now, for instance, print is the name. And usually function, actually all the time, functions do have this parentheses. It should be closed with parentheses. If I run this, what's wrong? Yeah, as you can see, just empty because there was no argument passed. So it needs some argument. For it, it could be a number, or it could be a text. Hello. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. Yeah, so Python noticed that I made a mistake, and Python doesn't know, and it gives me syntax error, invalid syntax. This is not known by Python, and by removing that problem, I fixed the problem, and now it works. And also we call this debugging, actually, fixing your code, removing the problem, the bug, and making it work is actually debugging. So you can do arithmetic operation, for instance, addition like this, or maybe subtraction. Everybody knows the result of this. And as you can see, when I'm adding two operands or numbers, 1 plus 2, I left some spaces in between. That is just okay. You can do it 1 plus 2, but for readability purpose, to make it more readable for our eyes, usually we leave some spaces between operands, variables, assignment operators. Is this okay? But for instance, if I want to do, for instance, 2 to the power of 10, last time we learned about this 2 star signs means 2 to the power of 10, and I'm expecting 1024. Yep. So you can exit from here by invoking or calling the exit function. Now, and also to just know again, either you can open it like this or like this, py. Let's exit. I made a typo again, as it, Control C and exit. Yeah, I can exit also from here. But most of the time you don't write code on the Python, the interactive shell on there, but instead, what is this? I don't know. It's open over there. Instead, we use code editor. In this, for instance, VS Code is one of the most popular, and last week we installed this. And now I will open the VS Code since I have installed it last week already. And now let's start from there. VS Code. And if you remember, the name of actually fundamentals of Python, and I can open it here. Then I have created week 1, and now I will create week 2 folder. And again, let's just warm up a bit by writing some revision.py. As I told you, any Python file should end with .py extension, okay? Now I'm about to revise, so I want you to write print hello world. Yeah, so we can write print hello world. And if you click, I should see the value hello world. And then again, let's do some arithmetic. 1 plus 2, of course, you may expect 3, print 2 minus 1, you may expect 1, print 2 times 3, and you may expect 6, print 3 divided by 2, you may expect 1.5, print 3 modulus 2, that means the remainder when we divide 3 by 2, I think the remainder will be 1. Yes. Print again 3 floor division 2. That means we don't care about the remainder, but we care for the quotient. Again, here we get 1. But how about 9 floor division 5? What do you think? What's the floor division of this? I'm looking for an answer. What's the floor division of this? 1. Great. How about the modulus of 9 by 5? Modulus. If we do the modulus, yes, that means, yeah, we care for only just the remainder. Okay, great. Now let's do print 3 the power of 2. And as you can see, this means 3 times 3, and I'm expecting 9. Let's execute this by clicking this green awesome button, and let's see the value. As you can see, it's 3, 1. But this kind of value, it's hard to read, so it's usually good to add some kind of a label, you know. You can say 1 plus 2 or total, you may call it, or maybe call difference. Maybe you may call this product, and you may call this division, and we may call this remainder. And you may call this floor division. Floor division, and again the same floor division. I don't have to do that. And this one exponent. Yeah, so in this case, when you see some number, there's also some tag or label next to, so it's easy to identify where the output is coming, right? As you can see, the total of 1, 3 difference, and so it's good to put like that. Yeah, there you may mute your mic, and we have also learned. Let me just. Yeah, we have also learned the different data types. If you remember different data types, can you remind me the different data types we have learned? Yeah, the different data types we have learned actually are strings. Strings are actually text, and numbers. Numbers are actually int, float, complex. And we learned about booleans, and the booleans are actually true or false. And we learned about, maybe I think I can list, set, tuple, and dictionary. We don't have to learn all at once, like all the different data types. Let me check what we saw by that time last week. Actually, we tried to see how it looks like. So it's good enough. But just to remind you, we have learned different data types and we will see them step by step. Yeah, so, but today, most importantly, we learn strings in depth, but in the meantime, also it's good to see what we have covered before. For instance, we have covered comparison operators now, so it should be okay. But before I move on, I want to also talk about logical operators. We didn't learn about it last week. Logical operators. Okay, good. So maybe print 1 is greater than 0. What do you think? Is this comparison true or false? Maybe the logical operators, sorry. Logical operators are and, or, and not. These are the logical operators in Python. This is a true value, but and 0 is greater than -1, for instance. But instead of going negative, we can say just 3 is greater than 2. And we may say that 4 is less than 3. I know 3 is less than 4. I want to create a true statement. This one is true, and this is also true, right? True and true. The value is going to be true. How about if we change a bit, and if I change this one, for instance, I will have this true. 3 is greater than 2. That's true. 3 greater than 4 is false. True and false give us maybe if we modify this a bit, and if I say 3 is less than 2 and 3 is greater than 4, false and false give us false. So this is just, so that means to get a true value using AND operator, you have to have both the operand, the left and the right should be true. Let's see with OR. I don't have to rewrite this all over again. For instance, if I say OR, this is greater than true. That's true. And 3 is less than 4, and that's also true. true, and true actually is true. Let's see also by running this, it's good to see what we have. As you can see, the last value is true. How about if we change this to false? 3 is greater than 4. True and false, and this also should be true because we are using OR operator. How about if we change both of them? And if I say 3 is less than 2 or 3 is greater than 4, this is actually false and this is false. All together give us false. Yeah. So I think I should have changed this false, but this is true. So with OR operator to get false value, one of the operand should be false, but most of the time we get true value here. Okay. When do we use the negation? For instance, if you want print true, you have a true value. You can even negate this value, not. As you can see, it's false. We change it to the true to false. And even you can use double negation. And the double negation will be canceled out. And actually you will get true. But how about print note 4 is greater than 9. So what do you think the value of this? First, this will be calculated. 4 is greater than 9 and it's false. And the negation of false is true. Yeah, great. And we can, I think this is good enough for now to go. And let's move on to strings. Yeah. Of PY. But I want to check how much did we cover about strings last week. As you can see, we have learned how to inject the data, but we didn't learn much about strings methods. So first, I may go to here and see the string content we have. And we will go step by step. Okay, great. What's string? Our string is a text data type, one of the most important data type in programming. So we need to declare text. I may say A, or just a character. So what's the size of a string? Could be a string, could be a single character, or a paragraph, or a page. Yeah, but it's a text. So you can print this. Print text. No, I can just call it character, just car, because it's just a single car. I think by now you know how to declare a variable, right? Based on our previous lesson from here, we have learned how to create different variables. As you can see, language dictionary, addresses that hold. We mentioned that variables are memory locations. We create them to store data, different kinds of data. And now if I run this, I should get A. But for instance, I may say first name, and if I may write my name and print first name, and you can check. Yeah, so we can also use the built-in function len to check how many characters this variable has. First name, and if you run this, 8. So it has 8. And the last name, if I say, and let me check length of last name, I may get a different value, 8. So even you can compare, is this person name greater than the last name? Let's check. We can just use this operator, right? I'm just checking. Yes, definitely this expression should give me a true value. Okay, so at the same time, I'm just showing you how to connect the dots. Now let's say some text, another text that says Python. Okay, I think fundamental of Python. I can make this lower. Python, I think it should be first. Oh no. Okay, great. So you can also just check the length of this text, and I don't know, it could be about 30 or something. It's 20, but now it also includes the space, okay? The empty space, the empty spaces have been also counted. By the way, it has different method also, print text. For instance, if I want to change this to words, I can split. And if I just run, it will be splitted as 3 words. What kind of data type did we get here, guys? You may tell me.
A string.
No, this list, yes. So the string data type has been converted to a list because of this operator. So it has been splitted, and now we have a different, even you can store it as in a different variable. You can call it words. So after we split it, we store it in the words variable, but the text is actually remain the same. We didn't mutate, we didn't modify the original data. Okay, great. How about if we use print and text, text to uppercase. Uppercase means changing everything to upper, actually, yeah? So fundamentals of Python. Well, of Python. Great. Now, if you want to make everything lower, text to lower, but as you can see, everything is lower. There's nothing to change to lowercase. Everything is lower. So sometimes to check if everything is lower or not is lower, actually. What do you expect from this? It's a Boolean, but what would be the value now? Is everything lowercase? Yes, so I'm expecting actually a true Boolean value. So it should be true. But the opposite, if I say text, and if I say is upper, I think is upper, and now it should be false because it's not upper. And we can change this to title case. Title case means, by the way, it would have been much better if at least one of the P was capital, then it would be like easy to notice some of the changes. Now is lower becomes false because one of the character is not actually lower. and is upper is also false. But now let's change it to, for instance, title case. Title case means we just change to uppercase the first letter of the word. So let's run and you will have a chance. Fundamentals of Python, great. And then even there is a crazy method for string, and we can do swap case. Swap case by swapping means changing the lower to upper and the upper to lower. So let's see here, it will be crazy output. Fundamentals of Python. So everything were actually lowercase and change it to uppercase, but P was actually uppercase and now changed to lowercase. Great. And this, in addition to that, let's also use some other methods. For instance, these methods starts with index, find, write, find, and with, let's check. Starts with is to check if something, if a string starts with some substrings. For instance, print txt starts with Python. Oh, is it going to be true, guys? Is it starts with Python, this text? For me, no, it's false because it starts with fundamentals. So I'm expecting false. Yeah, but I can say, if I say it starts with fun, do you think it's going to be true? What do you think about this fun? So again, false, because what I wrote fun is actually uppercase, but here is lowercase. It's case sensitive. So let's make it true by just lowering it. And now it should be true. Great. And now we can check the end. Text ends with Python. Do you think this text ends with Python? Yeah, that's true. So it should be true. Or is that ends with phone? For instance, this? Yes, it ends with that too. Great. Because it just check from here. Now let's check this find to find the index of a text or substring. Text.find, for instance, of. So it gives us the index of this. I'm expecting 0 because the index of this string actually starts from 0. This is located at 0 index. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. If I'm not mistaken, I think the of starts at 13, but let's check. Oh yeah, great. Then I was right. So if I ask where is F, then Python may go for this or this, but actually it goes for the first one. So what do you think the value of this? I think I should have the first one also. So tell me, what would be the value of this? 0, great. 0. As you can see, it is 0. Now, how about if I want to target this one, this F, the last F? Actually, we have a method called RF to the right side. The last the last item or the last occurrence. So I think it's going to be then 14. Yeah, great. How about if we use index text dot index of f? This gives us the first, for instance, it should be 0 again. But the problem of this, when you don't have the character, it will be, it raised an error, for instance, look at it. So it crashes actually, yeah, not such kind of error, it raised an error. But if it was actually find is good, it's good that it doesn't crash, instead it gives you none. So you can handle it, it gives you -1. So you can be sure that it's not existing and you can handle it elegantly. Great. Let me check from here if there are some string related methods that, yeah, but I think since we're in string, let me just write this string Python, and we have a variable called lang, and the text is Python. And if I am interested to get the first letter, I can say language 0. So actually, strings do have this index 0, 1, and up to the end. So if I run now, it's P, and if I want to print lang and 1, it would be, did I run that? Yes, Y. And if I am interested to slice out some of the substrings, language, and I may say, for instance, if I want to take this out, maybe THO, so I have to start from 0, 1, 2. So I have to start from 2, and I have to write 2 here. And then I should stop in here. So then 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, it should be up to 5. The last one is not inclusive. 5 is not inclusive, as you can see. So, but if you just want to slice up to the end, what you can do, for instance, if you want to slice out all this, you can just put something like this, and you will have, and maybe if you are interested to slice out the last item, N, you may use negative indexing, and the last item is actually 1, and it should be N. N, oh yeah, great. Let's move on, print language again. For instance, if you want to slice out from here to here, again, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can just write 4, and you just leave the other empty. Yeah, great. So you can slice substring. Reversing a string, and it's so crazy is that you can reverse using this method, actually, language, and you may just do this, and if you use minus, it's a reverse, so you can get the Python is actually, as you can see, reversed. Of course, this remains the same, it's intact, but we have a copy of, if we want, we can store this. Yeah, I think there's a typo over here. A typo, I should, so this should be instead a colon. So the point is actually, if we want to do, for instance, print language, and if you say 0 to 6, but with 2 interval, the step, because first you go 0, and then this one, T, and you skip this and then this, PTO. I think it will be PTO. Yeah, because it's two inter. We count this one, then we don't count this, and then this one. Then the next one. The step is two, not one step, instead two step. You can change this step also three, in three intervals. Okay. String methods capitalize, and the capitalize actually just to change the first, as you can see, 30 days of chat, 30 days of Python, and it just changes the first letter. And the count is very good, actually. I have to show you count, but this text doesn't have any word that is repeated, but let me just write CT, maybe Mississippi. Is that? I don't know. Something like that. Print city, city, and then count S. This. How many times this Mississippi has this S character? I can see at least 4 times. Yeah, 4 times. And even you can count also how many times count and then I like this, and I can see that about 4 times again. Yeah, great. So this, the count method actually allows you to count the number of characters or substring in a string. We saw find, find, and format. I think we have seen last time how to format, and our index is also we did. Okay, I think we didn't see the our index here, but it works the same as our find. So, but I'm now interested to show you is alphanumeric. Now let's talk about pandemic, right? The pandemic is going to be declaring a variable called pandemic, and I call it COVID-19. So as you can see, this is a word, I mean a character, and it's the type. If you want to check the type, what's the type? Pandemic. And I'm expecting a string, right? Yep. So is it alphanumeric? Print pandemic is alpha. No. Is alphanumeric? We can check with is alpha. Of course, this is going to be false because is alpha means just the English alphabet without numbers. So this should be false, as you can see. But print pandemic and is alphanumeric. This one means alphabet and numeric, and this should be true because it satisfies it. Alpha. Oh yeah, the reason why actually it's because of the underscore. If I remove that, this one will be true, okay? Let's see. Yes, it became true because underscore, I mean the hyphen is actually not a numeric or alpha. So it's is decimal, for instance, 30 days of Python is decimal. Of course, it's false, as you can see. But for instance, I have here, even though it's a string, it can be converted to numbers, so it's true. And then again, we have here hexadecimal number. If you check hexadecimal as in a digit, it's false because it's another form of a number. And we have here also numbers, but in between there is space. And because of that space, this is also is not a decimal. Then we have again is digit, challenge 30. It's a string. Challenge is digit. Of course, it's false. But I have here again a letter, but in a string form. I mean numbers, but in a string form is digit. Oh yeah, that's true. Yes, so we have also here this hexadecimal, and this hexadecimal also satisfies this. Let me check. Sometimes it's good to check. Yeah, this also is a digit. Anyway, this can be also converted to decimal at the end. We have numbers here. Is numeric? Yes, it is. And also we have a number is numeric true. Surprisingly, this 10.5 is numeric, is false, even though it's a number, but it's a float, and I don't have really any explanation for this, but it's false. Okay, is identifier. Yeah, that's a very good word method, but I think we don't use it much. Last time, variable names, when we talk about variable names, we can use underscore and we can use numbers, but we can't use, for instance, this hyphen, or we can't start with the number. Yeah. So these are the criteria actually we set for variable names. And is identifier allows you to identify if a variable is a proper variable name or not. Is it a proper variable name? No, because it's starting with number. How about this one? Is it a proper? Yes, true. As you can see, challenge is identifier, true. Challenge is identifier, false. And we saw is lower, is upper. We have seen already, but I want to show you this join. Okay, sometimes we may have a list and we may want to join this to a string. We say, then you can say, just you can create an empty string, then join, then you call to that list. We have this list and it will be joined together. Let me just print out. If I print out this, and as you can see now, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. The reason why I say everything connecting each other because we didn't leave a space over here. But now if you, yes, actually this allows you to put whatever you want, for instance, comma followed by space. And then the format also will have comma followed by space. Or if you want, even you can add whatever. It doesn't really matter, as you can see. But most of the time, we just do comma followed by a space, and that looks a very good format, right? When you write the English language, that's how it goes. What else? Stripe. Yes, Stripe is very good. Sometimes, for instance, you may have text. Let me just have a text here, text. Sometimes we may have space in the left and the right. Yeah. Now, as you can see, I have space here in here, right? So this, let me show you print text. And I will show you. Have you seen the space over here? Yeah, but it's harder to see the space in this side. Of course, you can print something here. just to see the space. I'm printing just to see the space. Let me just print. Now, have you seen there is this amount of space and this amount of space? Okay, but we can actually remove that space using stripe, dot stripe. This stripe allows us to remove spaces in both sides, in this side and this side. And let me just run now. Now, as you can see, you don't see the previous spaces. The spaces we have here and the spaces we have here at the beginning. So stripe allow us to clean, replace, yes. And if I say now, for instance, I text, let me just, I love Python, maybe like I like Python because it is awesome. If you do not like Python, what else do you like? How many likes do we have here? I think at least I see 3 likes, yeah? So now let's replace that with a lab. Print text, replace, and then actually first you have to have the old word that's like, and I want to replace it with lab, you know? Lab is more powerful than, strong than like. So let's do it. I love Python because it's awesome. If you do not, okay, let me make mine. If you do not, okay, if you do not love Python, what else can you love? So as you can see, it allows you to replace some strings, substrings. Replace split, and we saw the split. For instance, if we want to split this, it will be changed to words. Words, text.split at the space. So at the space, this will split. And then let's see the number of words. As you can see, I like Python because it is awesome. If you, okay, anyway, so split changes a text into words. We have seen this title, it changes to title case, swap case, and then results. So starts with and challenge starts with. Yeah, I think this is what I can offer related to string, and you are done with strings. So what you can do, there are questions at the bottom, so you can work on the questions. Then let's close this part of the video here, and also at the same time, let's have a break.